Lieutenant Sam Wright stood at the observation deck of the UNS Valiant. The stars stretched out before him like tiny diamonds on black velvet. The ship had been traveling for 3 years now, exploring the edge of known space. Sam rubbed his tired eyes. As the ship's medic, he had been busy treating the crew for space sickness after their latest jump. The alarm blared suddenly. All personnel to stations. Unknown vessel detected. The computer announced in its calm voice. Sam hurried to the medical bay. If this was first contact, he needed to be ready for anything. Captain Olivia Martinez's voice came over the speakers. This is not a drill. We have visual confirmation of a non-human spacecraft. It appears to be attempting communication. The medical bay view screen showed what the ship's cameras were seeing. A massive vessel hung in space about 10 miles away. It looked like nothing Sam had ever seen before. All curves and strange, glowing parts. It was at least 5 times the size of the Valiant. Lieutenant Wright to the bridge, called Captain Martinez. When Sam arrived, the bridge was tense but organized. The captain stood tall, her dark hair pulled back tightly. Sam, I need my medical officer present for this. We're about to establish first contact protocols, she said. Dr. Alan Foster, the ship's xenobiologist, was practically bouncing with excitement next to the communication station. His gray hair stuck out wildly. This is incredible. Their ship design suggests a completely different technological approach than ours, Dr. Foster said. The main screen flickered and then showed the inside of the alien vessel. 3 beings stood there. They had slim bodies with 4 arms, each in skin that looked like polished blue stone. Their heads were large with no visible nose, just breathing slits and wide eyes that glowed slightly. Greetings, one of the aliens said in nearly perfect English. We are the Kelveri. We represent the Galactic Concord, a union of 27 sentient species. Captain Martinez stepped forward. I am Captain Olivia Martinez of the United Nations ship Valiant. We represent humanity and Earth. We have observed your transmissions for some time, the alien said. We wish to welcome you to the galactic community. Over the next few days, the humans and Kelveri exchanged information. The aliens invited a small group from the Valiant to visit their ship for a formal reception. Sam was chosen to go with Captain Martinez, Dr. Foster, and 4 others. They rode the shuttle across to the alien vessel. Inside, the walls seemed alive, glowing with soft blue light. The gravity felt slightly stronger than Earth normal. The Kelveri greeted them warmly. They shared food and drinks that Dr. Foster had confirmed were safe for humans. Sam found himself relaxing. The aliens were friendly and curious. One of the Kelveri showed them artifacts from other worlds. Sam reached out to touch a beautiful crystal sculpture. The edge was sharper than it looked. Ouch, he said, pulling back his hand. A small cut had opened on his palm. A drop of red blood welled up. Let me help you, said the nearest Kelveri, reaching for Sam's hand. As the alien's finger touched the blood, it let out a terrible scream. The spot where the blood had touched began to bubble and dissolve. The Kelveri fell to the floor, its skin smoking where Sam's blood had made contact. The other aliens backed away in horror. Toxic creatures, one of them shouted. Guards rushed in, pointing weapons at the humans. Captain Martinez moved in front of her crew. This was an accident, she said firmly. We mean no harm. Dr. Foster kneeled beside the injured Kelveri, careful not to touch the wound. Our blood seems to be causing a chemical reaction with your biology, he explained. We had no idea this would happen. The lead Kelveri signaled the guards to lower their weapons. In all our encounters with new species, we have never seen this, it said. We must understand this phenomenon. Sam wrapped his cut hand tightly. I'm so sorry, he said. The humans were escorted back to their shuttle. Behind them, medical teams rushed to help the injured Kelveri. What do we do now? Sam asked the captain. We learn, Martinez replied. And we hope this doesn't start a war. As they returned to the Valiant, News of the incident spread quickly through both ships. The day that aliens learned human blood was corrosive had changed everything. A week after the incident, Dr. Natalie Perry sat in the newly built joint laboratory. The space floated between the two ships, connected by airlocks on both sides. She looked through her microscope at a tiny drop of human blood, carefully sealed in special glass. Across the room, Servax, the Kelveri chief medical officer, watched from behind a clear safety barrier. The alien's 4 arms moved quickly as it adjusted equipment. "I still don't understand why our blood hurts you," Natalie said. "It's just iron, proteins, and cells to us." Servax made a sound like small bells. "Your hemoglobin structure is unlike anything in our records. The iron-based oxygen carrier is common enough, but something in the protein shell creates a powerful chemical reaction with our tissues." Lieutenant Gregory Hall stood by the door, his hand never far from his gun. He didn't trust the aliens. "How many species are in your records?" he asked. "Over 5,000 catalogued biological types across 27 sentient species," Servax replied. "None show this effect. You humans are unique." Natalie mixed a small amount of human blood with tissue samples from various aliens. Each sample bubbled and dissolved at different rates. She recorded the results carefully. "Look at this," she said. "It affects each species differently. The Kelveri react most strongly, but the Jaxeri samples barely change at all." Servax moved closer to the barrier. "This explains much. Our first scout team that observed your world reported skin irritation after collecting samples near human settlements. We thought it was your planet's higher radiation levels." Gregory frowned. "You've been watching us." "For how long?" "Standard procedure before contact," Servax said. 50 of your years. We discovered your radio signals and sent observers." Natalie looked up from her work. "You said our blood dissolves your tissues. Could it be useful as medicine? Maybe against infections?" Servax's eyes blinked rapidly. "Perhaps, but the Concord Council is more concerned about weapons potential." Gregory stepped forward. "Weapons? You think we'd weaponize our own blood?" "Not you," Servax said quietly. "Others." Information spreads quickly. Already, 3 species have requested quarantine protocols for human contact. The laboratory door opened, and Captain Martinez entered with the Kelveri leader. "Dr. Perry, we need an update," the captain said. "The Kelveri ship just received orders from their homeworld." The Kelveri leader spoke. "Human blood has been classified as a restricted substance. The highest level. Your ship may proceed to the Concord station, but with strict containment protocols." Natalie showed them her results. "Captain, our blood affects each species differently, and other bodily fluids show some effect too, though much weaker." The Kelveri leader's skin changed color slightly. "This is troubling. We must inform the council immediately." In the days that followed, Natalie and Servax developed safety protocols. Special suits for the aliens, careful handling procedures for the humans. News spread through the alien networks about the strange humans with toxic blood. One evening, Natalie found Gregory in the observation room, staring at the stars. "What are you thinking?" she asked. "About how everything has changed," he said. "Yesterday I heard 2 crew members talking about how we might use this if aliens attack us." Natalie sat beside him. "It's not a weapon. It's just how we're made." "To them, that's even scarier," Gregory said. "We don't need technology to hurt them. We just need a paper cut." The UNS Valiant received new orders from Earth. They would continue to the Galactic Concord Central Station, carrying Ambassador Linda Benson to represent humanity. As they prepared for the journey, Dr. Perry made a discovery. Human children's blood showed less corrosive effect than adults. Something in human development increased the potency. "It's like we become more toxic as we age," she told Servax. The Kelveri scientist's voice was solemn. "The council will find this fascinating and frightening." As the ships prepared to depart for the Concord station, other alien vessels began to arrive. Some came to observe. Others came to collect carefully sealed samples for their own research. All kept their distance from the human ship. The humans had become the most interesting and dangerous newcomers to the galactic community. Their very blood set them apart from every known species in the universe. Ambassador Linda Benson stepped off the shuttle onto the Nexus station. The massive space structure hung in orbit around a beautiful blue-green gas giant. Linda had never seen anything so huge built by intelligent hands. It made Earth's space stations look like toys. Major Ryan Cooper walked beside her, eyes constantly scanning for threats. His hand rested near his weapon, though the Concord officials had assured them no one would harm the human delegation. "They're all watching us," he whispered to Linda. He was right. Aliens of many different shapes and sizes moved through the wide arrival hall. All of them kept their distance from the humans. Some wore special suits. Others used small floating robots to carry messages rather than come close. An older alien with wrinkled gray skin and long tendrils instead of hair approached. It stayed exactly 10 feet away, the new safety distance established in the protocols. "Ambassador Benson, I am Zolnak, elder representative of the Concord Council," it said through a translation device. "Welcome to the Nexus." Linda smiled and gave the greeting gesture she had practiced. "Thank you for receiving us, Elder Zolnak. Earth is honored to join this gathering of worlds. Please follow the green path lights to your quarters," Zolnak said. "They have been specially prepared for human biology." As they walked, Linda noticed that other paths turned red when they approached, keeping alien traffic away from them. It felt like being diseased. Their quarters were beautiful, but clearly designed for containment. Special air filters, separate water systems, and thick walls would prevent any accidental exposure to human biological material. That evening, Linda prepared for the first council meeting. She wore the formal diplomatic uniform Earth had designed for first contact. Simple blue and white with the Earth symbol on the shoulder. "Ready for this?" Major Cooper asked as they walked to the great chamber. "As ready as I'll ever be," Linda replied. The great chamber was enormous. 27 raised platforms held representatives from each member species. In the center was a smaller platform where Linda would stand. She noticed it had its own air system and was surrounded by a nearly invisible barrier. Elder Zolnak called the meeting to order. "We gather to discuss humanity's petition to join the Galactic Concord." A tall, thin alien with 4 eyes stood. "I formally request that humans be classified as a biological hazard and Earth be placed under quarantine." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Linda stepped forward. "With respect," she said, "humanity poses no intentional threat. We cannot help how our biology formed. We have agreed to all safety protocols." Another alien, with scales and a short snout, spoke next. "The human's condition could be valuable. Their blood has shown remarkable properties against certain pathogens in our preliminary tests." The debate continued for hours. Some species wanted humans isolated. Others saw opportunity in human biology. A few suggested studying humans to find a way to neutralize the effect of their blood. During a break, Linda met with a small group of representatives who seemed more open to humans joining the Concord. One of them, a round being with tentacle-like limbs, spoke quietly. "Be careful, Ambassador," it said. "There are those who would seek to exploit your people's unique trait. A drop of human blood now trades for high value in certain markets." Linda felt cold at this news. "Trading human blood? That's horrible." "Indeed," the alien replied. "And dangerous. We have reports of a group called the Scourge showing interest. They are raiders, excluded from the Concord for their violence. If they learn of humans..." Major Cooper moved closer. "We need to increase security for our colonies and ships." When the council reconvened, Linda addressed them all. "Humanity understands your concerns. We propose a joint research program to find ways to make interactions safer. We also request protection under Concord law against those who would exploit human biology." The vote was close, but in the end, humans were not classified as a hazard. Instead, they received provisional member status with special protocols. As Linda returned to her quarters that night, she received an urgent message from Earth. 3 human outposts on the edge of their territory had gone silent. Ships sent to investigate had found signs of attack. The exploitation of humans had already begun. Commander Eric Sullivan stood in the ruins of Outpost Horizon. The small human colony had been home to 50 people just a week ago. Now it was empty, with signs of a fight everywhere. Blood stains on the floors showed where humans had been wounded or killed. "They took the bodies," said one of his team members. "Every single one." Eric's special response team had been formed quickly after the first attacks. They were all military personnel with combat experience. Their job was to find the missing people and stop whoever was taking them. "Look at these marks," Eric said, pointing to scratches on the metal floor. "These match the scourge ships we've seen in Concord records." A voice came through his communicator. "Commander, we found something in the lab." In the colony's small medical lab, they discovered a message recorded by the colony doctor before she was taken. Her face on the screen looked terrified. "They came without warning," she said in the recording. "They're collecting blood samples from everyone. They said they need living humans to maintain a fresh supply. They're taking us all to..." The message cut off there. Eric sent the recording to Earth and to Ambassador Benson at the Nexus station. This was worse than they had feared. The Scourge weren't just killing humans, they were farming them. On the Nexus station, Dr. Natalie Perry received the news while working in the Joint Research Lab. She had been transferred there to continue her studies with more alien scientists. "This is terrible," she told Servax. "We need to find a way to make human blood harmless." "That would take years of research," Servax replied. "We need something faster." Their work was interrupted by a strange alien entering the lab. It had a face like a bird with a sharp beak, and its body was covered in colorful feathers. It wore no protection against human contamination. "I am Kilor," it said. "I have information you need." Servax moved between Kilor and Natalie. "You are a smuggler. What are you doing in this secure area?" Kilor made a sound like laughter. "Making money. The Scourge are paying well for human blood. They have labs at 3 locations where they keep humans alive and drain their blood regularly." Natalie felt sick. "You're helping them." "No," Kilor said. "I'm helping you. For the right price." The information was passed to Commander Sullivan's team. Kilor gave them coordinates for a Scourge base hidden in an asteroid field. The alien wanted protection in return. Too many people wanted him dead now. Commander Sullivan's ship approached the asteroid field carefully. They could see a structure built into the largest asteroid. Scans showed at least 20 human life signs inside. "We go in fast," Eric told his team. "Our priority is getting our people out alive." The team used small, fast ships to reach the asteroid. They cut through the outer hull and entered the Scourge base. Inside, they found a nightmare. Humans were kept in small cells. Tubes took blood from their arms into collection tanks. The people were pale and weak, but still alive. "Get them out," Eric ordered. His team moved quickly to free the captives. In another room, they found something worse. The Scourge had built weapons that could spray human blood. One of the aliens demonstrated on a prisoner from another species. The alien screamed as its skin dissolved on contact. "They're making biological weapons," Eric reported back to headquarters. As they evacuated the humans, a larger Scourge ship appeared. It was bigger than anything they had seen before. The rescued humans said it belonged to someone called Vex Mill, leader of this Scourge group. The team barely escaped with the freed humans. As they jumped away to safety, Eric received a message from Ambassador Benson. The Concord Council had voted to help humans fight the Scourge. They now saw that if human blood could be weaponized, all species were at risk. Back on his ship, Eric looked at the data they had stolen from the Scourge base. It showed plans for a much larger attack using human blood weapons. The target, the Nexus station itself. Admiral Darren Mitchell stood on the bridge of the UNS Dauntless, the largest human ship ever built. Around it flew 20 smaller human vessels and 15 alien ships from the Concorde. It was the first joint fleet in history. "Status report," the admiral said. "All ships in position," replied his second-in-command. "The Kelveri and Jaxari ships are keeping extra distance as discussed." Lieutenant Sam Wright was also on the bridge. After the first contact incident, he had become an expert on human-alien safety protocols. Now he advised the fleet on how to fight together without accidents. "The alien ships need to stay at least 500 meters from ours during combat," Sam explained. "If our ships are damaged and crew are injured, their vessels could be affected by blood exposure." Admiral Mitchell nodded. "Understood. What about the special team?" "Ready, sir," Sam said. "Specialist Kelly Turner has equipped them with the blood delivery systems." This was the part of the plan that made Sam uncomfortable. Some human soldiers had volunteered to use their own blood as weapons against the Scourge. Small devices attached to their arms could create a fine spray of their blood when needed. They would be a frontline attack team. "Your call." The Kelveri commander who had joined their fleet appeared on the main screen. "The Alien War heavy protective gear. My scouts have confirmed the Scourge base location," Yurkol said. "It is heavily defended. They have at least 50 human prisoners inside." Admiral Mitchell looked at the battle plan one more time. "Then we move now. All ships, prepare for jump." The fleet traveled through space to a distant area where the Scourge had built their main facility. It was hidden inside a small moon. Scans showed hundreds of Scourge ships protecting it. "They're expecting us," Sam said. The battle began. Human and Concorde ships fired on the Scourge vessels. The Scourge fired back with weapons that shot small amounts of human blood mixed with chemicals to keep it liquid in space. Several Concorde ships were hit. Where the blood touched their hulls, the metal began to dissolve. Yurkol's ship barely escaped being destroyed. "We need to get inside that base," Admiral Mitchell said. "If they have that much human blood weaponized already, there must be many more prisoners than we thought." Specialist Kelly Turner led the human strike team in small, fast ships toward the moon. They landed in a small crater near the base entrance. "Remember your training," Kelly told her team as they prepared to exit their ships. "Your blood delivery systems are last resorts only. We're here to rescue our people, not become like the Scourge." The team fought their way into the base. Inside, they found rows and rows of humans in sleep pods. Tubes took blood from each person to large tanks. "There must be thousands," Kelly said in horror. They began freeing the prisoners. Alarms sounded throughout the base. Scourge soldiers rushed to stop them. In the chaos, one of Kelly's team was badly wounded. His blood sprayed onto 3 Scourge attackers, who died screaming as their bodies dissolved. The sight made Kelly feel sick, even though these were the enemy. Outside, the space battle continued. The combined fleet was winning, but at a cost. Several ships had been destroyed on both sides. Admiral Mitchell received an urgent message from Kelly's team. "Admiral, we found something you need to see. It's not just a blood collection facility. They're using the humans to power something else. Some kind of massive device." Sam looked at the data being sent from the strike team. "Sir, according to these readings, they're not just using the blood. They found a way to extract something from human DNA itself." Before the Admiral could respond, a huge Scourge ship emerged from behind the moon. It was unlike any they had seen before. Parts of it seemed to be made of organic material combined with metal. "All ships, defensive positions," Admiral Mitchell ordered. On the main screen, a face appeared. It belonged to a Scourge, but different from the others. This one had implants and strange glowing eyes. "I am Supreme Commander Vrex," it said. "You are too late. The transformation has already begun." Dr. Alan Foster studied the data from the Scourge base on his tablet. He had joined the mission aboard the UNS Dauntless when they discovered his xenobiology expertise was needed. What he found in the files made his blood run cold. They'd been experimenting with human DNA for months. he told Captain Olivia Martinez and Major Ryan Cooper. Not just using our blood as a weapon, but changing it. Major Cooper leaned over the table in the ship's conference room. Changing it how? They found a way to make it more potent, Dr. Foster explained. Normal human blood can dissolve alien tissue on contact, but they've modified it to become airborne. A single drop could contaminate an entire room. Captain Martinez's face grew grim. And they plan to use this at the Nexus station. Worse, said Dr. Foster. According to these files, they've built a delivery system that could spread it throughout the station's air system. Thousands of aliens would die in minutes. The door opened and Admiral Mitchell entered with Ambassador Benson, who had returned from the Nexus for this emergency meeting. We've confirmed that the Scourge have a stealth ship heading toward the Nexus, the Admiral said. We can't catch it in time. Ambassador Benson spoke up. The Concord Council is evacuating the station, but there are too many people. They won't all get out in time. Dr. Foster cleared his throat. I may have a solution. It's risky, but it might work. He showed them his research. I found a way to temporarily alter human blood at the genetic level. We could make it non-corrosive for about 24 hours. A team could board the Scourge ship without risking accidental contamination. Major Cooper nodded slowly. And if they're captured, the Scourge can't use their blood as a weapon. Exactly, said Dr. Foster. But I need volunteers. The process isn't tested. There could be side effects. Captain Martinez stood up. I'll lead the mission. Within hours, Dr. Foster had set up a lab on the ship. Captain Martinez picked 7 crew members for the mission. Each received the genetic treatment. Remember, this is temporary, Dr. Foster told them as he injected the last person. Your blood will return to normal in about 24 hours. You need to be off that ship by then. Major Cooper watched the process with concern. Will they still be able to use blood weapons if needed? No, Dr. Foster replied. That's the point. Their blood won't harm any species during this period. The team boarded a small, fast ship designed to avoid detection. They would intercept the Scourge vessel before it reached the Nexus. Captain Martinez looked at her team as they approached the Scourge ship. We go in quietly, find the delivery system, and destroy it. They docked with the Scourge ship by attaching to its hull and cutting through. Inside, they moved silently through dark corridors. The ship was larger than they expected and strangely empty. Where is everyone? Whispered one team member. They found the answer in the main control room. Only 3 Scourge operated the ship. Most of the systems were automated or controlled remotely. After a brief fight, they captured the control room. Captain Martinez searched the ship's systems for the blood weapon. That's strange, she said. There's no delivery system on board. No human blood stored anywhere. Suddenly, all screens in the room lit up. Supreme Commander Vrex's face appeared. Captain Martinez, he said, how predictable humans are. Martinez realized they had walked into a trap. This was a decoy. Of course, said Vrex. While you wasted time with this empty ship, my real vessel has already arrived at its destination. The screen changed to show another Scourge ship approaching not the Nexus, but Earth itself. You never understood our true purpose, Vrex continued. The Concord has oppressed us for centuries. We will use your blood to destroy them all, starting with your homeworld. Major Cooper's voice came through Martinez's communicator. Captain, we've discovered something. Vrex isn't just a Scourge commander. He's connected to something called the Architect. It's some kind of ancient artificial intelligence. Martinez stared at the screen. What do you want? War, replied Vrex. The Concord will blame humans when their ambassadors on Earth die, and humans will never trust aliens again after today. The screen went dark. Martinez and her team raced back to their ship. They had to warn Earth before it was too late. The UNS Dauntless raced toward Earth, pushing its engines beyond safe limits. Every human and alien ship that could be spared joined them. On the bridge, Admiral Mitchell coordinated the desperate defense plan. The scourge ship will reach Earth before us, he said grimly. We need another solution. Dr. Natalie Perry, who had returned from the Nexus Research Lab, worked frantically with Dr. Foster in the ship's laboratory. They had been studying the data about the architect. It's not just an eye, Natalie explained to the gathered leaders. It's ancient technology that has been controlling the scourge for centuries. The AI sees the Concorde as a threat to its power. Ambassador Benson frowned. Why use human blood in its attack? Why not regular weapons? Because it wants to start a war that can't be stopped, Dr. Foster said. If humans are seen as the cause of massive alien deaths, no peace would ever be possible. Lieutenant Sam Wright, who had been quiet until now, suddenly spoke up. What if we use our blood against the architect itself? Everyone turned to look at him. The scourge avoid direct contact with human blood, Sam continued. What if the architect has the same vulnerability? What if our blood can damage its systems? Dr. Perry's eyes widened. The data shows the architect uses organic technology, living circuits combined with mechanical parts. Human blood might corrode those connections. A plan formed quickly. A small team would board the Scourge command ship where the architect's core was located. While Earth's defenses focused on stopping the attack ship, this team would target the architect itself. Captain Martinez volunteered again, along with Sam Wright. Their genetic modifications had worn off, making their blood corrosive once more. 3 others joined them, including Specialist Kelly Turner. Their small ship caught up to the Scourge command vessel hiding in the shadow of Earth's moon. Using stealth technology provided by the Kelvary, they approached undetected and boarded. Inside, they fought their way through Scourge guards. Sam was wounded in the arm, but kept moving. We're close, Kelly said, checking the ship's layout they had studied. The core should be just ahead. They entered a massive chamber. In the center floated what looked like a giant brain made of metal and living tissue. Tubes and wires connected it to the ship's systems. Lights pulsed across its surface in complex patterns. The architect, Captain Martinez, whispered. A voice filled the room, coming from everywhere at once. Humans, so predictable, yet still surprising. Supreme Commander Vrex stepped out from behind the architect. You cannot stop what has already begun. My ship is deploying the human blood weapon in Earth's atmosphere as we speak. Sam looked at his wounded arm, blood seeping through his bandage. He caught Captain Martinez's eye and gave a slight nod. Why do you serve this machine? Martinez asked Vrex, moving slowly to keep his attention. The architect has guided us for 1,000 years, Vrex replied. It will rule the galaxy once the Concorde falls. While Vrex talked, Sam quietly removed his bandage. Fresh blood welled from his wound. Now, Martinez shouted. Sam rushed forward and pressed his bleeding arm against the architect's organic surface. The effect was immediate. Where his blood touched, the living circuits began to smoke and dissolve. The architect screamed, an inhuman sound of electronic agony. Vrex lunged toward Sam, but Kelly tackled him to the floor. More, Sam called. We need more blood. Captain Martinez sliced her palm with her knife and pressed it against another part of the architect. Kelly did the same. The great machine convulsed. Its connections to the ship began to fail. Lights throughout the vessel flickered and died. No, Vrex cried. You don't understand what you're doing. But it was too late. The architect's systems were shutting down one by one. With a final electronic wail, it went dark. Immediately, they received a message from Admiral Mitchell. The attack ship heading for Earth had suddenly stopped, its systems going offline. Later, when they returned to Earth, they learned what had happened. The Scourge ships everywhere had shut down when the architect died. The beings inside seemed confused, as if waking from a long dream. Ambassador Benson met with the Concorde Council 1 week later. The mood was completely different now. Humans saved us all, Elder Zolmak announced. Their unique biology, which we once feared, proved to be our salvation. The Concorde officially welcomed Earth as a full member. New safety protocols were still necessary, but now they were viewed as simple precautions, not restrictions. What had started as a terrible discovery, that human blood was corrosive to every known species, had ended by saving the galaxy.